My name is Chad Bozeman. I'm 45 years old. I am a very competitive person. I almost have to win. It's something that's just kind of ingrained in my head. And I definitely don't go into things if I know I'm going to lose.
My name's Rachel Oliver. I'm 33 years old, and I'm from Southeast Michigan. My knives, I make them to be rough, tough, beautiful, eccentric, unique, just like me.
I'm Buster Grubbs. I'm 61 years old, and I'm from Macon, Georgia. One of my favorite quotes is from Mother Goose is, good, better, best, never rest until good be better and better be best. And I try to live by that quote.
My name's Sean Ellis. I'm 56 years old. I'm real stubborn. If I lost a leg out here, I'd still be up there trying to forge a knife. That's just the way I am. I come here to win.
Bladesmiths, welcome to the Forge. You're here to engage in 3 rounds of edged weapon-making competition specifically designed to test every aspect of your capabilities. All in front of our panel of expert judges who will determine which of you is the Forged and Fire champion and also leaves here with that check for 10 grand. So what do you say we meet them now? ABS Mastersmith, Jay Nielsen. Next, Historic Weapons Recreation Specialist, David Baker. And last, Kali martial artist and edged weapon specialist, Doug Marcaida. I'm sure that you noticed on your anvil in front of you, you have a high-quality billet of steel. You'll be using that today, but there's a twist. Today, I'm feeling a little bit nautical.
That's all I can think is boat chain. I've never used it in my entire life. I am completely at a loss for words.
While forging your signature blade in your signature style today, you will also have to incorporate an element from the sea anchor or chain into your blade's construction using a sanmai or inlay technique. And the blade parameters are as follows. The length of your blade, not including the tang, must be between 14 and 16 inches. The overall length of your weapon must not exceed 22 inches. Keep in mind that in the second round, you'll be putting handles on your blades to turn them into fully functional weapons that will then be tested for strength and durability in a wooden crate chop and for edge retention in a fish slice. You will have 10 minutes to work on your designs. You will have 3 hours to forge your blades. When that time runs out and the judges have inspected your work, one of you will have to surrender your blade and leave the forge. Good luck, bladesmiths. Your 10-minute design window starts now. Some of that stuff looks like it's been sitting at the bottom of the ocean with the Titanic. Is that usable steel?
It's usable steel, but it's not hardenable steel. So they're gonna have to sandwich it up with that W2.
I'm gonna use a chain. It's the right size, and I think I can work it. And I'm designing a Bowie knife because it's always superior cutter. It's my favorite. 14.5. My build of knives to be durable, functional, high-performance blade is where it's at.
I'm going to use the little anchor chain because the anchors, I don't know what they're made out of. I'm just going to go with a plain Bowie-style butcher knife. It's a simple knife to make. I feel really good about this because I'm good at adapting. You name it, any kind of old craft, I just about know how to do it. I've studied up on it. I've been reading up on moonshining lately.
I love the fact that we're doing blades that long. I mean, those are just so much fun, and it's almost like a short sword.
Ideas start flowing, and I'm starting to think, okay, chain. Chain's something I can cut straight pieces out of. I can put a handle on it. As I'm designing the blade, I am thinking I'm gonna go with something I love to make, which is somewhere between a sax and a sheep's foot. This is my chance to take an absolute surprise and turn it into something completely functional, maybe even beautiful if I do a good enough job.
I have no idea what I'm going to do with this. Those are just not good metals to work with. So I'm not going to get fancy. I'm going to make a good, solid Viking sax knife. It's a chopper, and they also are very sharp so that it'll slice through the fish. I think I will accomplish what I need to accomplish.
Bladesmiths, the design period is now closed. Grab your steel because your 3-hour forge time starts now.
First thing I grab, those smaller links.
The chain's so heavy. Really, all of us has got to work together because we've got to break at least one link before anybody can have their own.
Stuck.
Uh-oh. That's some tough stuff. It's very low carbon content, but it's very durable.
Right here. You want a big old ass chunk out of it. There it is. There's one. Now, who wants that right there?
Once that chain is cut, the best idea is to cut straight sections, lose the curves.
Now, why did Buster just cut that little section? I bet he's got to try and stretch that whole link out.
Doesn't make much sense to me.
I work with junk iron all the time in my shop, so nothing's the right shape when I start with it.
Buster did exactly what I didn't want to see somebody do. He's going to try and unfold it. He does not need that much wrought iron.
I ought to cut it off. I got enough without it.
Put on the damn chop saw and cut that son of a bitch off. That's what I do. It's gonna take too damn long.
My plan is to take the wrought iron, flatten it out, and get two flat pieces, and then sandwich it on both sides of the W2. I'm gonna get both my pieces in the fire at the same time, and so when I get one cold, I can swap it out with the other one and work it until I combine them. Just trying to turn that crap into something that looks like a knife.
Some of it ain't getting hot, man. The piece of W2 is like 10 inches long, and I want to get the wrought iron, draw it out at least to that length and that width, and sandwich and forge weld them all together.
Here we go. Sean is on the press.
Sean got that up to temperature real quick.
He did.
Hot enough.
Maybe not quite.
If you don't get it hot enough, it will split out on you. The wrought iron I just use for guards and stuff. I never try to use it in forge welding.
My biggest concern coming into this challenge is getting a solid forge weld from wrought iron to this high carbon steel. I've read about San Mai. I have seen it done. I have never personally attempted it myself. Oh God, this is intense. Definitely I'm doing like a switcheroo, back and forth, trading off left and right. I'm going between wrought iron and my high carbon steel, back and forth constantly. Today's my first time ever using a power hammer. It is so cool, it's so efficient, so fast. It makes everything about this a dream come true.
I think Rachel is very excited by Big Blue and maybe a little
Enamored with the toy.
overusing it, maybe just a little bit.
As I'm drawing out my chain link, running it through the power hammer, even though I'm running it on a light pressure, it's causing it to stress fracture all throughout the entire piece. That piece of wrought iron was scrap. It was no good. I gotta start over.
Do you? Yeah.
I think she's going to stretch out another piece of wrought iron.
Oh, I thought she was further ahead than that.
Now we're cooking with gas. My plan is to do an inlay with the high carbon steel and the chain link. I don't really know how the anchor chain is gonna react because this particular type of metal is not something that I've worked with before. So, you know, the old saying, keep it simple, stupid, well, that's me.
Well, I like the fact that Chad is drawing out that W2 and not just welding a big slabs together.
I have to sit down from time to time because of the pain in my back. I have 3 ruptured discs, and it gets to the point that I just can't do anything.
Chad, don't drink that water.
Okay, this man's now. Damn it. I realized that I can't get the wrought iron the perfect size as the W2. I'm running out of time, so I just had to cut him short.
I think we have our first stack.
I'm a little nervous welding the W2 and the wrought iron together. It's something I've never done. Might not be the damn prettiest thing, but maybe it'll work.
Now, Sean, he's setting himself up beautifully. When it comes to forge welding, I think experience is really the telling thing. It's a recipe. How you set yourself up for that initial weld is going to set the pace for everything else you
Wrought iron is just weird, you know. I've never forged wrought iron with the blade on a San Mai, but I will figure it out before it's all said and done. I know I have to get this forge weld right, otherwise it's just going to cause failure down the road.
Bladesmiths, 1 hour has elapsed. You have only 2 hours remaining.
When I get the wrought iron straight, I cut both pieces and then sandwich it on both sides of the W2 and go for a forge weld and hope for the best. There goes nothing.
All right, so Buster setting his welds.
Yay.
Buster's just cooking that metal like you wouldn't believe.
I got on the power hammer. It's not going real good. I made a couple of mislicks and got my blade too thin right in the center. And I'm seeing inclusions and bad places in my blade. I'm getting a little bit of delamination too.
I know, it's hard,
Maybe we didn't get it hot enough. So I'm just trying to grind off what I can. It's not working. I'm not feeling good at all about it.
My wrought iron and my high carbon steel, they've been drawn out to a sufficient length. And now it's time to start welding my billet together.
So Rachel is over here. She's been at the welder for a while. Hopefully, everything comes together real nice.
Sanmai is a technique I really know very little about, and I really cannot wait to give this a shot. My biggest concern at this point is that the welds are not going to stick. When it comes down to forge welding, you never know. You never know until you're done.
I start by taking the chain and putting it in the press. I'm trying to mash it down into billet size.
I'm not feeling too good about what Chad's up to.
God, blasted. Fell apart.
The ends begin to split, and so I have to step back and try again.
Blasted.
Whew. I need to cool off.
He's looking pale. He's looking really white.
There's 4 forges going all at the same time, upwards of 2,400 degrees each. That's a lot of heat.
At this point, things stop making sense for me.
How you feeling?
I just can't even concentrate.
What's affecting you most?
I don't know. And I know that something is going on.
Feel a little better?
I feel worse. The medic tells me my pulse is up in the 120s. My blood pressure was through the roof. I am just exhibiting all the signs of heat exhaustion.
Whew. Part of planning for the win is taking into consideration the environment. It's never your friend. I am concerned right now.
Think you'll be able to go back into the competition?
No, sir, I do not believe so. I am upset that I can't showcase what I know how to do. This beast got me.
Chad is out. But that doesn't mean these other smiths are safe. All of our remaining smiths are still required to complete their blades within those parameters to continue to the next round.
Oh, that don't look good. Man. I seen a cold shut on my blade, and I just went, oh my gosh, this blade's ruined. Oh. Sometimes you can save them, sometimes you can't. Hope I can pull this off. But I said, no, you're gonna pull it off. I'm gonna go get that chisel, and I said, I'll fix this real quick.
I'm enjoying watching Sean work over here. He's been very deliberate the whole time. Not a lot of wasted energy.
You know what the task at hand is. You just gotta forge ahead.
Damn, they're there. All right, Sean's eating up his blade for a quench. I don't know if the other two are quenching or not. Shazam! That's how you do it, boys.
I quenched my blade, but then I pulled my blade out, and I could see just a slight warp. But with time ticking down, I feel like I brought my A game and probably the best that I could do.
What have we seen when your blades are so skinny when you quench?
I'm noticing that I'm getting bends in my blade, so I'm trying to straighten it out during the normalizing process, which is not a real good idea.
Don't hit that anymore. Please don't hit that blade anymore.
Come out the second time on a normalize, it's crooked again. Have to straighten it, but that's all I got. I didn't run out of time. I'm out, man. I beat my blade too thin right in the middle. Couldn't get it back.
Sorry about that.
Quench, quench. I was just trying to use the force to get him to quench.
Yeah, maybe if you do it all at the same time.
Hey, it's now or never. I got to dip this thing.
Big flame out. There you go. It's a good way to lose some beard hair there.
Do you see that? It looks fairly straight.
It does.
So what's Rachel got going?
Rachel's got a long, thin bar.
Rachel's 1 foot on the box, 1 foot on the floor, leaning into that thing.
Look at her go, man.
I start pushing just a little bit too hard.
Whoa!
I'm like, oh my God. It made me jump. It definitely did. I don't know how to put it on. How do you adjust it?
I was about to say, it looks like Rachel is twisting a freaking pipe wrench over there against that grinder, and she just threw the belt.
When I finally get the belt sander figured out, I am grinding away, and I realized My blade is a little too long and thin.
No!
But time is flying by. It's time to get my blade quenched.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bladesmiths, this round is over.
Will called the time, and I feel real excited. Feel like I done real well. This blade reminds me of just a big, hard-working knife. A big, hard-working knife.
Now that my blade is finished, I'm worried that it's got a big warp in it, and I feel I might have just overshot the length by a hair. Right now, it's not looking so good.
I'm sure you've noticed we're one bladesmith short. Chad, due to medical reasons, has opted out of this competition. Rest assured, he'll be fine. However, that does not mean that any of you are safe from elimination. You still must fulfill the blade parameters that were set forth from round 1. So let's jump right into it. Sean, you're up first.
Yeah, I gotta say, Sean, there's not a lot of times in this competition where I see a competitor do exactly what I would have done. As far as prepping your steel, putting it together, you got a little bit of a wiggle in here, but I don't see any serious delams. You got one little spot right here.
Well, Sean, sand my construction, not many people can pull it off. You did a very good job. It's a solid piece.
Yes, sir.
Will, the parameters were
14 to 16 inches.
15 inches. So, good job.
Buster, you're up next.
Oh, Buster, my real concern is right here. You got a very thin section, and that is right in the sweet spot where I'll be striking. But I like the shape of it. I like the feel of it.
Well, you virtually forged it to shape, which is great. As far as length goes, about 14 3/4. You're right there in the parameters.
Rachel, you're up next.
Oh, Rachel, my concern was that you drew that steel out very long and very fine. And also, you've got quite a warp here.
Okay, most of that warp, luckily, is back here at your tang, so that hopefully won't be a hard thing to correct. Look at that. You are a 1/16 of an inch shy of 16 inches. All right, good job.
Thank you.
Bladesmiths, because all of your blades fit the parameters, and Chad is opted out of this competition, there's no need for a deliberation. We're just going to jump right into round 2, which means that you're one step closer to $10,000 and the title of Forged and Fire champion.
Thank God. I am absolutely stoked to put a handle on this. But I'm thinking, well, this isn't just a handle challenge. There's going to be something thrown into the mix.
In this round of competition, you'll be attaching handles to your blades to turn them into fully functional weapons that will be tested for strength and durability in a wooden crate chop and sharpness in a fish slice. You have full use of the pantry and 3 hours to assemble your handle. When the time runs out and your blades have been tested, one of you will have to surrender your weapon and leave the forge. Oh, wait. There's one more thing. Keeping with our nautical theme, you must also include an element from that bronze propeller into your handle's design.
What am I gonna do with that, you know? Can I use it for a pin, or can I do liners with it?
Good luck, bladesmiths. Your 3 hours starts now.
What I need to do in this round is pull off some magic. I need to address the thin place in the middle of the blade, and I had a little place back in my handle where my handle and my blade came together. I need to address that some way or another.
There's a lot of cleaning up to do, but that's going to reveal a lot of issues and lighten his blade even more.
He's got 2 seriously thin spots, and both of them are in about the worst places possible.
If I go any deeper, I'm gonna grind out the integrity of my blade.
The first thing I'm gonna have to do is lighten up that blade and straighten out that handle a little bit. A blade of that size, it's gonna have some very strong handles. I pick out some Camus micarta because it's very durable. It don't shrink, it don't swell. It's just tough. I'm excited, but you know anything could happen in this round.
Heading into round 2, I have a laundry list of things I need to take care of. Because I had so much to grind this time, I'm gonna make the first hour dedicated to the grinding, getting this blade in shape. I have a warp in my handle, fin to the ricasso. There's no turning back from that. Just gonna have to go with what I got.
Nobody even wants to look at that propeller right now. All Smiths are ignoring the fact that that's even sitting in the middle of the room.
I don't care about that propeller. I don't care about anything else going on. It's just me, the grinder, and getting that set up.
Well, I was thinking I could use the propeller to cover up the flaw on the bolster.
Buster might just propel himself right out of the finals.
I get it now.
Well, you know, regardless of who's propelled into the next round, it's kind of a sink or swim moment.
I'm a little nervous about using this because it's not flat. I'm gonna try to flatten it out, get it close as I can.
I think it was a good idea to try to support that center section. It would have been nice to see him try to support the entire blade, but that ship sailed. I'm sorry, I'll stop.
My game plan would be like using the bronze just like a little inlay. So I cut out a little piece. With this time restraints, I'm not gonna try to do anything too flashy on the bronze. That's gonna look like but hell.
So it looks like Sean has set that bronze pin in his handle.
Easy peasy lemon squeezy. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's there. He said all you gotta do is see it. You know, there's a lot going on. You're looking at the clock. If I don't thin up the blade, put the edge on it, I'll get sent home.
All right. I see this bronze propeller and I immediately go, liners for the handles, easy. I'm thinking, you know, this propeller is fairly thin, and then I get up to it and I'm like, oh, this thing is a beast.
There we go.
And then I start grinding, and it's taking a long time. I made a big mistake, and time's just ticking away, and I go, you know, I gotta change my plan. I cut off a couple pieces, I'm gonna make a brass pin. This is an absolute sink or swim moment for me. And then I realize it's taken a while to get into shape. I only have enough time for one pin.
So now I need to try to make this sturdy, decent handle. So I see this pretty blue stuff. It looks like it would fit in with the nautical thing.
Buster doesn't index that blade well. When we're doing these strength tests, if it hits and deflects down, it could knock that blade right out of alignment.
It's not matching up exactly right, but I think it'll work. I'm grinding over on the belt, and I was thinking this blue material was more forgiving.
Uh-oh.
All of a sudden, I get a crack. Well, I feel sick to my stomach. I'm thinking I need to go find another piece.
You know, it's a little late in the game to have to peel those scales off.
There was no more blue like that, so I just say it's gonna have to live with a crack. I have to support that handle some way or another, so I go and get another pin. Another pin in the middle will help reinforce the handle so it will stay on. I'd like to spend more time on the sharpener, but I've got to spend more time with this handle. I'm a little worried.
Time to get my scales on, time to incorporate the bronze pin, get my copper pin in there, and this thing just goes together like 1, 2, 3.
She worked a simple single front pin, pushed it through, got a damn the torpedoes, full speed ahead attitude. What, am I going overboard? There are a boatload of jokes going on in this room today.
I'm quitting. I'm leaving. I can't take it anymore.
I put my blade in the ferric chloride just to check for flaws. It'll make sure that the W2 is all on the edge. If you etch it, it's gonna reveal the beauty. I'd say that's purdy.
That looks real nice.
It looks like he's got maybe a ½ an inch of exposed steel at the base of that blade.
That's ideal.
I think I'm stacking it pretty good. That will kill.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bladesmiths, time is up. Good job. Please secure your blades and return to your anvils.
I'm really worried about my knife because I got a cracked handle, I got a blade forged in tooth and nail in the middle. I'm not proud of it at all.
Now, I'm feeling pretty confident. This thing is made for basically kicking ass and taking names. And this is what this blade is meant to do, and it's what it's going to do.
All right, bladesmiths, welcome to our strength test. Today is the wooden crate chop. I'm gonna take each of your blades and attempt 10 strikes through this wooden crate. It's gonna test the overall durability of your knife, edge holding, and we're gonna see not what your blades can do to this crate, but what the crate can do to your blades. Sean, you're up first. You ready?
Yes, sir.
Let's have some fun.
My blade's a lot heavier than my competitors, so I think it's gonna perform real well. Let her rip, Tater Chip. I'm ready.
That's what a chopper should do. Just a few little things right in here in your choil, that's sharp. I'd like to see that taken down. Narrowing down here would have made it a little more comfortable too. Swinging something this big and heavy, you want to have as much control as possible. Contouring with that palm swell in there is a big help in holding and wielding this knife. No damage to the edge or anything. Nicely done.
Thank you.
Rachel, you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, let's do it.
I actually feel pretty good, but you really just never know in the knife-making world. Anything can happen. This is the moment you separate the dogs from the puppies. Wow. Oh my God.
You okay?
I'm high on life right now.
Well, Rachel, you lost that little flake there. Nothing else seems to have opened up. Biggest problem I have with this knife is the balance. There's a lot of weight up here. There's not a lot of knife to support that tip. And whenever I'd strike on the crate, it's actually smashing into me in the webbing of the hand right there. Your edge is good, though. It's still sharp. Held up nicely. Good job.
Thank you.
Buster, how you feeling?
Insecure now.
Let's do it.
When Jay picks up my knife, I'm thinking, I know there's a lot of flaws in my blade, so I just don't know what's going to happen. I'm nervous right now.
Well, Buster, we've got a crack going from spine to edge, right where that thin spot is.
I figured it was.
That is a serious malfunction right there. It's only being held in this little belly of the clip. And if we go to straighten it for a sharpness test, I feel it's going to break off.
I understand.
I'm sorry, but for safety reasons, we're not going to be able to proceed to the sharpness test with your knife.
Okay.
Bladesmiths, the tests here in the forge are designed to be intentionally brutal for a reason. Not every bladesmith makes a blade that can complete the tests. Buster, unfortunately, your weapon has suffered catastrophic blade failure, and I have to ask you to please leave the forge.
I'm feeling very disappointed. I just came to prove to myself that I could compete and that I was better than some.
Rachel, Sean, congratulations. Your work on your nautically themed blades have propelled you into the final round of this competition. Now we're sending you back to your home forges for 5 days to recreate an iconic weapon from history. That weapon is the Kachin-dao.
The Kachin-dao was the weapon of choice for the Kachin tribe of Myanmar. Known for the disciplined fighting skills, the Kachin people used this terrifying slaughter tool to decapitate their enemies, leading them to become one of the most feared head-hunting tribes in the world. The sharp, single-edged blade flares out to a widened square tip that delivers lethal, slashing blows. It proves to still be a deadly weapon in popular television shows like Spartacus or The Damned.
It must be an authentic working version of this weapon. You do this well, and you could walk away with $10,000 and a new title. After 5 days, you'll return and present your blades to our panel of expert judges. Bon voyage, bladesmiths.
All right, here we go.
The blade I'm making today is this almost looks like a machete. This particular type sword is more of a chopper. It don't have a point, just got a flat end on the end. Some are just straight. I like a little bit of radius on mine personally. Right here, I think would be it. The material that I'm choosing is 5160. It's made for chopping. It's gonna be a perfect fit for this build I'm fixing to do. I'm just gonna try to get the initial look of it, the size of it, then I'll start forging the edge down and go from there. You gotta really think outside the box, and that's one of the good things about it. I mean, it's just not the norm. It's something different altogether. Oh yeah, everything went pretty well, but I may have a problem. The quench tank I have right now is only capable of quenching blades up to 13 inches. This blade is a lot bigger. The quench is the most important part of the whole build, so I have to go and just rig me up another quench tank. I'm nervous.
I'm at home, I'm at my forge. Today I'm hoping I can get a rough shape forged in, or at least drawn out to about the shape I need. I'm definitely designing as I go. I've never made anything quite like this before. That's what I'm hoping to use right here. I'm actually gonna try and make this out of a leaf spring. I feel it will give me a better chance with dimensions, length, all that. I really want to stay historically correct. Accuracy for me when it comes to recreating something is really important. Trying to put the flare in, the tapers down to the handle. Getting that flare in there is definitely the most difficult aspect of it. Not even making a dent, not even a little bit. It's not drawing out as easily as I'm used to steel drawing out at. It's a heavy piece of steel. It takes a lot of heat. It takes a lot of time. Why is this cool? Might have to try 2 burners. My forge is just not big enough, not strong enough, not hot enough. I need to double the size of my forge.
Rock and roll. Yesterday, I spent most of the time grinding this blade and just profiling it. She's just ready, so I'm gonna kick on my heat treat up. Today's gonna be the heat treat day. Go ahead and clean this up here. This blade is considerably big, so I have to go rig me up another quench tank. I would say that's it. Heat treat is the main part of the whole thing. If you don't get your heat treat correct, you're setting yourself for failure. Well, everything's gone just really well with the grinding, the forging, and I'd sure hate for something bad to happen right now. You really don't want to feel that little ting. Luckily, that's never happened to me. Shazam! Oh, that whole thing just, that's one thing that you don't want to hear. Could be a weak spot. If it cracks, I'll have to start all over again, and I don't even know if I have enough time to build another one. Thank God, that scared me there for a second, too. Luckily, blade come out good, straight. Hell yeah.
Ah, I got 2 burners. I spent yesterday making another forge. Imagine if I had this from the very beginning. Oh man, that's going down like butter at this point. My plan right now is I'm gonna flatten out this leaf spring. I'm gonna get my tank cut out, but I'm gonna keep the handle on so I have something to hold on to when I dunk it in the quench tank. I want my quench to be nighttime. I want to take advantage of the lack of sunlight to know I have my colors right. That's the moment of truth. That'll basically tell me if I'm heading back to Brooklyn with Kindao or scrap metal. When I pull it out, I don't hear nothing. Everything feels great. No tinging, nothing. It's done. Feeling like a proud mom. I have a successfully hardened blade.
Today, I'd like to just test the blade. You need to check the edge and make sure that it don't crack. That's hard stuff too there, buddy. Still sharp. Good. Now it's time for me to do fit and finish. I'm just drawing the tank just to soften it up. Dang sure don't want it brittle. Brittle breaks. I'm gonna go with the hidden tank construction. It's a good fit. The full tank would be a little stronger, but I think the hidden tank will serve this blade well. I think the blade came out really good. It's got a good balance to it. It should perform outstanding. The only thing that I'd fear the most would be chopping through bone. That bone is tough, it's rough on the edge. But other than that, I absolutely think I have a winner on my hands. Yes, sir.
I still got some things I gotta finish. Gotta get the handle on. Gotta put an edge on this thing. Repurposing is my thing. I make all my knives from repurposed materials. This one, I'm thinking furniture leg. Already got the flare in it I need. It's actually about the length I need. Think smarter, not harder. I gotta make some rice paste glue. Trying to stay traditional here. That was typically how things were done in Asian countries. There, now it's doing as I want it to do. I have done hidden tank handles. I've never done one with rice paste. So I'm really hoping this works. I gotta wrap the handle in hemp, put an edge on it. I'm gonna say this is done. I didn't get enough have the rice paste in the handle, so there's a slight wobble in there. But I don't think this thing's coming apart. Time will tell.
Sean, Rachel, welcome back to the forge. You've had 5 days at your home forge to work on your catching dowels. Sean, how did it go?
It went real well. I chose the 5160 to forge my blade, hand satin finished, and the handle I did a canvas micarta.
Is it a $10,000 blade?
Yes, sir, I do believe so.
Rachel, how'd it go for you?
It was interesting, to say the least. I ended up going with the leaf spring. I stuck with my repurposing mantra and used a table leg for a handle and did a hamper wrap.
Feel like it's a $10,000 weapon?
I feel it is.
Well, bladesmiths, your weapons will now be put through a series of brutal tests. They're designed this way to set your weapons apart from one another. Up first is the kill test. Doug?
The Kachin was used to battle the jungles in Burma. It was also a weapon used to give them the title of headhunters. To see what kind of damage your Kachin will do, I will take your weapon and deliver slashing blows on this ballistic dummy. Sean, you're up first. You ready?
Yes, sir.
Let's do this.
There's a lot of things that could happen when they go through the test. A small chip, failure, and I'm just thinking the whole time, oh my God. There's a jawbone.
Yeah, it does.
Well, Sean, initial contact in here disemboweled this ballistic dummy. On a chop right here, it definitely chopped and cut all the way into the jaw. And on the backhand swing, you pretty much chop the skull open. The blade feels good in the hand. It lacerates, it moves well. Your weapon will kill.
It's just like a big relief, says that thing's done everything that I thought it would. You put your mind to something and you can make it happen.
Rachel, it's your turn. You ready?
Ready as ever.
Let's do this.
Coming out to testing really was like a reality check. And I just go, oh man, this is the time where they get to say whether I sink or swim.
It's gonna do some real damage.
We'll see.
Rachel, there is an issue with your blade. It's rattling. I gotta ask you, what's your construction with your handle?
That is a solid handle. And I did a wood pin, and then I wrapped it with rice glue.
Okay, rice glue, so there's no epoxy here.
I kept it traditional with traditional adhesives, and then the 3 layers of hemp wrap.
The fact that you have a wooden pin in there and rice glue, it shouldn't move. It's traditional, and it's moving. And that's a big concern whether it's gonna stay there. This competition, first and foremost, is always about safety first. And the kind of force that I want to deliver over here is the kind of force that I deliver to that. So I don't want to hold back for fairness of testing. And I have no confidence that with everybody being this close and the amount of delivery I have to do on this dummy, it's a big safety issue. I'm really afraid that this knife is going to fly out.
I'm crushed. I wanted this weapon to be tested. I want to see what it could do. But I didn't get enough time to really test this thing. And here's the end result.
Rachel, Doug, and the other judges have issued me a vote of no confidence in your weapon's overall construction, which means that we cannot test it fairly compared to Sean's blade, and therefore your blade did not make the cut, and I have to ask you to please leave the forge.
My aim was historical accuracy, but it just came down to I did not use enough rice glue. My first time using it, this was a lot of firsts for me. My next step will be to make a worthy Kachin dao, and I want to hang it on my wall. I got you, Kachin dao. You know, like, now we're even.
Sean, congratulations. You are the Forged and Fire champion and will be receiving a check for $10,000. Good job.
Thank you.
Weapon's definitely a killer. How do you feel?
I feel great. I mean, I would like to see that thing go through all the other challenges, but oh well. I'm just tickled to death.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you, sir. Proud, very proud of what I've done.
Good job.
That's why I'm here, you know?
Congratulations.
I won. Forge and fire.
Yeah, baby.
I'd like to have that head right there.
There you go.